Hi, everybody. Welcome to the new normal. I'm your host, Lisa Davis, aka Litecoin Lisa, and today is a really exciting day for very token holders. Reggie has made an announcement, and we'll talk about that and some other big news. Oh my, what tangled web we do weave when we practice to deceive. Ethgate is just all over the news today. So I'm going to share some things with that. Um, and then there was a horse running down the street. So King Charles may be dead. I don't know. But let's check into what Reggie had to say first and ask Johnny what his thoughts are on it right after this. Oh, I have to invite Johnny back to the screen. I'm sorry, you guys.
I'm back.
I'm sorry. I'm like scrolling between screens. I'm so excited about all this. So Johnny, I know I just sent this to you, so you haven't had time to review it. But Reggie just put this out today. And it's really exciting. It's a community-based approach at protecting the patent. And it sounds like a model that even could be applied to other patents that other communities care about and could benefit from. And it really protects the patent holder because it's the community to do the work. It's not based on the patent's value. It's based on how the person in the community doing their work. So it's called a white paper for proof of productive effort consensus mechanism using the VERI token or for VERI token. So now that I don't want to get too much into this because like I said, I've read through it, but this needs to be unpacked at a round table, with people with initials and dots after their names and all that kind of stuff. But it's pretty exciting. He's talking about this to being a very decentralized mechanism, that it is a way to really have the role of the community in managing or monitoring the patent for infringement. There's there's slashing penalties. So if people were to come in with malice or try to damage the model, there's consequences for that. It's really well thought out security measures, a roadmap, technical architecture using smart contracts, claim validation. If you guys are interested in reading this, I hope that you will. I put a link I kept the links very clean this time on the video. You can go to the link in the description, click on the Telegram group, and I'll pin it, but it's the most recent link that I shared. And I asked Reggie's permission before this. I said, is this public? And he said, yes. So he's welcoming feedback on this. So hopefully we're going to be doing a roundtable on the VERI DAO channel on this really soon. But do you have any thoughts on this?
Talk about scarcity, Lisa.
Wow, yeah.
One thing that caught my eye is in the very first paragraph, Reggie mentions the 2 million tokens.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe VERI started out where it was 100 million tokens and 98 million got confiscated or seized by the SEC, and there was 2 million circulating. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, and it's not only seized by them, but it's in a multi-sig wallet that Reggie's also a signature on. So they can't be like, released into the wild or without his knowledge, or you know what I mean. So
right,
they're identified. And
the fact that it's talking about the 2 million tokens, I mean, that makes it ultra scarce. I mean, Bitcoin's going to be 20. Bitcoin's scarce. Bitcoin's going to be 21 million coins in circulation. This is 2 million. I mean, that's really, really scarce. So, what's the price of VERI right now?
Well, last
coin,
weekend,
Lisa?
one sold for about $150 on our charity auction, but I think it's about $70 or something
Okay.
right now. But don't quote me.
All
I
right. So
haven't.
you're talking $70. There's only 2 million of these things. I mean, I could see the price going very high. So I think the very tokers, very tokers. Sounds
Oh
like a
man,
pothead reference.
that's a
The
whole different
tokers.
show.
That's it. The very token holders could be rewarded really in a really generous manner, just based on that scarcity and the fact that it references it in a document like this. It tells me, hey, this is it. There's no plans for those 98 million other tokens. Those are locked up and to be forgotten about. So I'd be excited about that. I'd want to personally read through this and see what it's all about. But
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it was just
that
released
struck my
today.
eye right off the bat.
Yeah, I've only read through it one time, and actually, as much as, like, we do understand scarcity because, we're all into Bitcoin and understand that with, kind of that part of the education. What's different about this is that, all of that's, a piece of it or whatever, but it's really about this proof of productive effort, and that's what makes it not a security because you don't benefit from it just because someone else's effort. It's these challenges and opportunities are because of proof of productive effort. So any staking opportunity that is there is because you're doing work. Um, so that's where I think it's going to be really interesting to see how that kind of plays out. Like I said, I have only read over this one time. I really need to dig into this and dig into this with some friends of mine that are a lot more technical than I am. But I'm really excited about it. And I was excited that Reggie was happy to share this with the public. And so I wanted to share it with our crew right away. I emailed it to a couple people that I know would be excited about it as well. So let's see. Here's the
I
proof of
think it's
productive
really bullish.
effort.
I mean, just looking at it, I was going to say it's really, to me, this is really bullish because it's if people had doubts, it shows, hey, look, this is a project that's in motion, and it's not something that's dead. It's something that has a white paper that was just put out to the public to look at and be excited about. So I think to me, this is super bullish and a bright future ahead for VERI.
He puts the value and the work in. I mean, he is such a humble man, like getting the privilege of getting to know him over these last few years. He really cares about we the people. He cares about decentralization. He cares about freedom, free markets. Like, I believe that at my core. And seeing this, these don't go to him. This is something he's creating this to say, look, this is a way that can protect the patent. Like, the patents are Veritasium patents and his patents, but the token, he doesn't touch the token in this. This is the community to benefit from upholding the patents and educating themselves as well. So putting tools, giving the tools back to we the people as well. I think it's pretty brilliant.
Yeah, very, very cool. Yeah, Reggie, I always thought he was a really I don't know the man like you do, but I've followed him and watched some of his stuff since 2017, 2018, and he always struck me as a very intelligent sounding man, and a guy that wasn't not a hype guy at all. He's not a BSer. He's not a hype guy. He's not an embellisher. He just seemed like he tells you like it is. He's giving you the straight facts. he's not BS in any way, shape, or form. He just seemed like a straight shooter and a smart guy. So at the very, even if you don't own the token, I mean, I think he's a good guy to, if he's on a podcast or something or put stuff out to the public.
You can
It's
definitely learn a lot from him. And
yes.
this is a way for people to like participate in the VERI community and the we'll read through it. I'm sure we'll be doing a video that's way more in depth and talking about specifics. Mechanism, and I've already reached out to some patent attorneys and asked them, would you be interested in doing a roundtable for the VERI DAO channel, all of that. So hopefully we'll be having that come through in the next week or so, but want to give everybody some time to kind of unpack it and process it. But I think this is also bullish. Like you said, this is very bullish where the market is going right now. There is a movie that is free to everyone. There's a TV like service called Tubi, Tubi, and it's pretty dang honest. And I just will play a really quick clip. I know we're going to have a quick show tonight, but they're talking about what's happening right now with inflation and how people have this false sense of value because the housing bubble is going up as well. So they think, oh, well, my house is going up. Yeah, the US dollars are being printed, but they're thinking they're okay still because the stock market's going up. So my 401k is okay and my house is worth more. But they've stopped counting food and gas and things that everyone needs.
Yep.
That not everyone has, or that everyone needs and everyone uses in inflation numbers. And so it skews the real inflation. And let's not forget that by doing that, who owns all these properties? Who bought up on Zillow and all of that, all those houses? BlackRock and all of the big guys. So they're protecting their assets in this hyperinflation, this inflation while the dollar is dying. Meanwhile, we are being the worst tax on we the people through inflation on everyday items.
And we spoke about this last week. The two things that have went up the most is education and housing. And
yes,
like you said, Lisa, people think, oh, I'm all right because my house went up in value. Well, what if you're don't own a home yet? What if you're a younger person that you're coming of age where you would own a home? You're getting married. You're starting a family. You're priced out of the housing market now. It's not, it used to be the American dream. The husband works a blue collar job or something, and two kids, the dog, the white picket fence, and they could afford that home. And now that's not a reality. And like we said, they sent every kid to college. Seems nice, but they drove up the cost, and they made it worth a lot less. So it's
right.
So then people that can't, maybe they won't get the what's it like, the student aid, the financial aid, or the now they got to get student loans. Now they're in debt forever. And it's, so it's a vicious cycle.
It is
for sure. So it's not,
and now we are seeing where Russia is, I think, freezing American assets. I guess the Americans threatened it first, and Russia's making comments seizing American assets. In JP Morgan, and they're some of the largest derivative holders there is. I think they said 400 million in assets, I believe, is what Russia was freezing. But this is where,
can you blame them? I mean,
no,
that's what we did to them.
No, we just sent 900 whatever, or how many billion to Ukraine again to attack them.
It's insane. And that's only possible because of fake money.
Thank you.
It's only possible because of fake money. And like we said, if there was real money, not fake currency, I can't even call it money, fake currency. If there was real money backed by silver or gold, we wouldn't be funding these wars. I mean, it's written. We don't follow the Constitution. I mean, I've been arguing with a lot of people about this recently, and we do not follow the Constitution. It's written in the Constitution. What is a dollar? It's a certain amount of weight in silver. We don't have that anymore. We have the Patriot Act. We have all these things that are against. We have income tax. All this stuff that it's unconstitutional. But it's sick how people bent over and allowed this all. Like I texted you that last night, Lisa. Yeah. I said it's crazy how people just bent over and bought into this. You know what I mean? And you know, and then every whenever something happens, you got to worry about the next generation. So you know, the Federal Reserve Act was passed and the IRS was passed. The people back then were probably like, "Well, you know, what does it matter?" Well, now, sure, it matters. You know, you don't pay your taxes. You know, you could argue, yeah, it's unconstitutional, this or that. They will put you in jail. They'll come after you and arrest you, throw you in jail.
Take your home. Yeah.
Take your home, take your stuff, you know, so.
Well, movie, it's like an hour and 20 minutes or something. Like Bernanke actually says, like 1 minute he's like, oh, the Fed can fix it. And then he's like, oh, there's a little thumb. Thanks for the thumbs up. He says, like, at this point, the Fed can't fix it. It's not a fiscal issue. And so this is, if you want to become educated on this, like I'm probably going to go watch this again just to they did a great job on the timeline of this. And we are right there. We are at 2008, but it is exponential at this point. Printing money does not produce goods and services. And that's what they're doing exponentially right now. Yeah. Another 60 billion for Ukraine. That's the problem. And so that is a great tool. Please go watch that on Tubi. It's called, what's it called? Like the federal money for nothing inside the Federal Reserve. I'm
going to watch it.
Watch it and share it with your friends because people don't get what's going on right now. They have this false sense of this fake economy being okay, and they don't realize we're standing with our toes hanging off the edge, you know?
Fake economy. And, you know, I'm very clear with people. I do not support Ukraine. I do not support Russia. I do not support Israel. I do not support Palestine. I support the United States of America. That's it. I support the USA. I want to help the USA. Other countries, I mean, let them help themselves. I'm not against them, but it's not my thing to help them. My thing is to help the people on U.S. soil. Make sure every child has food you know, get this inflation under control. That's what I'm worried about, not freaking Ukraine or these other countries. You know what I mean? It's not. And again, I don't support any. It's like, oh, if you don't support Ukraine, you support Russia. I don't support either of them.
No, I'm not saying that. Yeah. I'm saying America first. And I'm really proud of what they did in Oklahoma. DJ Crypto tagged me in this. I really appreciate that. It wouldn't let me retweet his link, but I was able to retweet the link of the one that he shared. And it says this passed in the House of Representatives floor substitute for SB 426, now moving to the Senate. The WHO and the WEF shall have no jurisdiction in the state of Oklahoma. So hopefully this kind of thing goes like wildfire and spreads all over the country. You know, those are not American entities. Those are foreign nationals, and they do not have jurisdiction over us. And so,
no, not at all. You know, we most of the politicians, most of the corporations, most of this stuff, they're running in America last. an
Yes.
America worst policy, not America first, America worst, America last. And it's sick, and it's America first, and that's how it has to be. We have to wake up and realize what's going on, and realize, is this against the Constitution?
Right.
If it is, it's not something to be proud of or support. Express your opinions. Express your. Now it's hard a lot of times. A lot of times people's jobs rely on this stuff, but doesn't mean you have to support it. You can be vocal about it and say, "Look, I don't stand for this. I do not stand for this one bit." And we just need to stand up and express our anger, not only anger, just our why we don't like this stuff, why it's bad. Too many people roll over and just it doesn't affect my life.
You're gonna have to get your poke. You're gonna have to get your
Mm,
real ID. You're just gonna
yeah.
have to play ball, Johnny. And no, you don't. You can take your energy and opt out. There are other pathways, build parallel systems. There are parallel systems. That's when the 2008, Lehman Brothers thing kicked it all off, and it should have died then. Thank God Satoshi came out with Bitcoin. We have parallel systems to get out of this corrupt, satanic financial system, but we have to choose it. We have to reach for that other, trapeze bar, and we have to let go of the other one, or otherwise we're going to be
We're,
stuck.
we're battling some real strong currents against us because they've made it so the public wants easy,
Yeah.
and the public wants everything so easy, and freedom is not always free, and it's not always easy. And they've made it so people like, I just want it as easy as possible. It has to be so easy. I don't want to have to think. I just want the program to show me what it is. Oh, that seems, I mean, the amount of things that people tell me seems hard to do. I look back to life like 20, 25 years ago. I'm like, hard to do. I'm like, what? I'm like, people are just so used to things so automated and so integrated, and that they just will give up almost all freedom and all everything for easy. I mean, look at the jab. That's how they got most people with the jab. Like, well, you can't go to the ball game then if you don't have the jab. I mean, shoot, I was one of those people that said, I will never go to the ball. I won't go to those places anymore. I don't want to go to the places. And
Well, and you
people
won't get didn't people get like a check for like $1,500, but it ruined their life, or they lost their job, or I mean, there's this disparaging uh difference between what's being sent overseas to countries that we have no connection with, that we know it's not really going there. I saw a thing, and they're partying and whatever, and there were fake bodies lying on the ground and all this crazy stuff. And but we yet to see, strange, Pelosi, the S&P was up 20% last year, but Pelosi was up 65 or something insane like that. Like, things are not adding up, and that's where we need to start critically thinking for ourselves. I just want to touch on one more thing before we go. um, I've been following this story. If you guys haven't been following this, please follow Steve Narioff, follow Boring Sleuth. And he has, this is like on chain facts, whatever. They are, I believe, or they could be using the court system to create law. Like, I think Joe Lubin might be buddies with Gary. He sure had a lot of nice things to say about him. He called him like the king of decentralization in one video, or the knight of decentralization. I can't remember, but it's in this. It says, this is Steve Narioff's post. It says, the cover up continues. Joseph Lubin and Consensus has filed a lawsuit against the SEC. Somebody else seems to have a lawsuit with the SEC right now. They're in court kind of rewriting or writing laws that should have been written by Congress, and instead they're being litigated. Interesting. Seems like a theme there. Anyway, back to this. To ensure that Ethereum is not declared as security. Hey, Joseph, Ethereum Joseph, do you recall when you wrote the terms and conditions and the purchase agreement in 2014? Lubin's significant, and then he goes on here. But there's a quick video where Gensler tells you exactly what Joe did.
From Canada, Joe Lubin, who now runs Consensus. Lubin took about 10% or 9.5% of the offering. They put 9.5% in a foundation called the Ethereum Foundation, and the other 80% was sold to the public for $18 million. Vitalik wanted to raise money. He was maybe 19 years old. He looped in with a venture capitalist from Canada, Joe Lubin, who now runs Consensus. Lubin took about 10% or 9.5% of the offering. They put 9.5% in a foundation called the Ethereum Foundation, and the other 80% was sold to the public for $18 million.
So very interesting where he's saying this is all kind of like, oh, we'll use, I mean, it could be allegedly, could they be using the courts to like, hey, I'll sue you, you sue me, and then we'll get in there and we'll already have a deal figured before we go in there. And then it's like WWF or WWE, they're going to play fight. And then once it comes out, then they've set precedents instead of going through traditional ways that laws are supposed to be made, like by Congress creating laws by, for, and of we the people, and them following it. So it seems like they're getting to write the rules because
those are three creepy looking dudes. If you go back up,
yeah,
those are three creeps.
New masks for Halloween coming out soon.
Yeah. Well, one thing I'll say, so the video of Gensler, that's from when his course at MIT.
Mm-hmm.
And I probably watched half of those courses. I thought they were really good, and he was informative. And I thought I was like, wow, he really understands cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Litecoin, blockchain technology, and how his tune is now as the SEC chair. I'm really wondering what videotape they have of this guy doing what creepy that they have such control of him. You know my thoughts, Lisa. Almost all the politicians, they have some type of video on them doing creepy stuff and stuff that they don't want released. That's how they control these people. Kind of like what Epstein was doing. People say P. Diddy was doing it in the music industry. Yeah. Epstein was doing it to powerful people and politicians. We only know about Epstein. There's other Epsteins out there. You think he's the only one? Come on. And the fact that we know about him, I mean, I've heard Whitney Webb talk. She said she's researched Epstein and that whole thing a lot, the Clintons and all the people associated with them. And she calls Epstein middle management. She's like, he wasn't the top guy. They want you. No way. They want you to think he's the top guy. He was the fall guy. So what do they have on Gensler? The fact that his tune, he obviously realizes this stuff. If you watch the course that he taught at MIT, he was really clear. Bitcoin was not a security. He talked about Litecoin a few times. It's not a security, how it's issued. He liked Litecoin. Now they won't, he won't.
How his tune has changed. And it's really suspicious when they make statements where they're like Bitcoin and Ethereum. And even after it's gone to proof of stake, they want to make this claim. And I think that's why they're pushing so hard right now. Here's Nerioff's other comment that I kind of dug into, and that's where I was saying it seems very familiar to what Coinbase and the SEC might be doing in courtroom together as well. But it's evident today that today's update is a well-planned tactic executed by Consensus, Ethereum, and SEC. Their intention is to create a state of uncertainty in the situation and conceal their collaboration by pretending to be against each other. However, their actions are not sly enough, and we see through their every move. So, and then I asked, could they be joining forces to make new rules by establishing precedents via the courts? I don't know. I'm just asking. Seems like someone else may have joined forces with them as well to write rules in court instead of forcing Congress to do their job and establish laws of, for, and by we the people. So that's kind of where I think this stuff is so transparent if you look at it. But a lot of people, like you were saying, don't want to look at it. They want to push the easy button. They want to take the easy way out. But when you do that, you become a slave of that system.
We're addicted to easy for sure. And, you know, easy is easy to get used to because it's easy. It's easy. So of course it's easy to get used to it, but it's, you know, it's people don't want to believe things either. Oh, my bank, you know, my bank's not bad, or my bank, the lady's nice to give my kid a lollipop. Oh, you know, it's your constitutional, it's the most patriotic thing you could do is pay your taxes. That's what I heard Mark Cuban say recently. Are you kidding me? I pay my taxes. I'm the first to admit it. I'm not going to jail. I file my taxes on time and I pay them. And I tell everyone that listens, it is unconstitutional. It's against our constitutional right as an American citizen. I scream it off the mountain. Same thing in the payments business I'm in. Everyone else that works in payments says, what's your KYC AML program like? Blah, blah, blah. So good. I tell people, really, it's against our constitutional right as American citizens, and it enables criminals. People say, no, it doesn't. I say, yes, it does. It makes it easier for criminals. Yeah. And I tell them it's what they set forth to weaponize it against we the people. It does not prevent criminals. It makes it easier for criminals. I scream this and I tell people, I enforce it. Yes, it's the rules. I enforce it. I'm not going to jail over this stuff. But as I'm doing it, I'm screaming about how stupid it is. And I'm saying that's why we need to opt out of the system, because of this stuff. And we need to make it irrelevant. That's the only way to win, by making it like obsolete, by opting out of the vampire casino. I talked about it. Make it rules for a typewriter. And you don't have you no longer have a need to use the typewriter. You don't have to adhere to those rules because you're not using it. You've made it obsolete. So,
well, and that's where decentralized communities can be a part of that as well, because when there's no central point of attack, there's no one to go pick up. There's nowhere to point a gun. There's no one to go lock up. It's a decentralized autonomous community. It doesn't even exist in a country. It's not under that law. And so those are the kind of things that we the people can all be part of and opt out. So,
and a lot of this stuff's not as easy as going into Coinbase or something like that, and you know, just pushing a button, and you know, it's a little harder, a little more steps involved, but you know, it's stuff that's needed. We need to opt out to win. And so, you know, we need to you know, just because something's, you know, don't go along with everything, you know, or speak your mind. Like I said, you know, use me as an example. I follow the rules, but then I scream about how it's stupid, it sucks, it's against our right, how the Patriot Act's bad, how KYC's bad. No one in payments will ever dare say KYC or AML's bad, ever. They praise it. They bend over and praise it. Oh, KYC me harder, daddy. AML me harder, daddy. And then they talk all this complicated jargon about it. I just tell people, it's stupid. And it helps criminals. I remind them how it helps criminals. And, you know, it's just, get me. Get me
I don't think
frustrated.
I'm sharing. I want to make sure I'm not sharing anything. I want to share this one, the video of, so it's not just a horse running down the street. It's a horse. It's the king's horse covered in red blood. So I'm going to play that on the way out. Or maybe I won't do that because I might be sharing more than I want to share. But go to the Telegram group because it's in there. And Reggie's new white paper is in there. And he's welcoming comments. There's a share and comment like on the PDF. There's an option to make comments and all of this. You know, he's wanting, I believe he wants a brighter, freer, free market future for everyone. And so I'm grateful to know him. I think he's a great patriot and happy to do my part to spread the word. So thank you guys all for watching. Please like and share this video so we can get more information out there and get more people reading Reggie's new white paper. And let's start a revolution with this. Like, let's do something big with this. This is our chance.
Good stuff.
All right. Thanks for joining me, Johnny. Take care.
Thanks, Lisa.